Yes, our home is on an island off the coast of Maine, and they put 3 GE 1.5 megawatt turbines. That's half the size of what would be here. That was supposed to help our community with lower rates and make us energy independent and very green. We initially supported the project because it sounded great. Why wouldn't we want to do that? It's the green, it's the rational thing. You want to do things for you to make your life better and to take care of the planet. But once they turned the turbines on, we knew that we had been misinformed and that the noise from them, which they said we would never hear, we would not hear the wind turbines, was unbelievable. You can't put into words what the sound was like. And that became our reality, our daytime reality, working outside, and then at night trying to sleep through it.
Have you had medical problems regarding this wind turbine?
My own is mostly sleep deprivation. I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would get to sleep, although they're throbbing outside the window. I couldn't sleep with the windows open anymore. So I would close my windows and I would close my eyes very hard and get to sleep. But then in the middle of the night, I would wake up and it was like this. And you think, am I having a heart attack? What's going on? And I had to stop and remember that it was the turbines out the window, and they had awoken me and frightened me. And so I'd have to sit and talk to myself and get myself back down and try to get back to sleep. But this would happen a couple times a week. And that's being fully awakened. I don't know how the disturbance happens when you just get a little bit awakened. But over time, that's cumulative. It has a cumulative effect. Also, there were days when it was so bad during the day. When I was walking through my house, I would actually get dizzy. You just get dizzy. So, and it affects different people. Some people don't seem to have symptoms. And interestingly enough, we're on an island of fishermen, and I think that the people who don't get seasick very often don't get the severe symptoms. But I get seasick, and it definitely affects me, and it affects many of my neighbors and many of their children. It affects our animals. It's across the spectrum.
How have you solved this situation?
Well, we tried to live under it for a long time. We tried to get the issues addressed, and when that wasn't working out, and finally my husband had a massive heart attack. He was dead on the floor for 12 minutes, and miraculously he survived and was flown off the island. After that, we looked at each other and said, we cannot survive the next 20 years of our life under this. We have to make a decision. And it was the hardest decision we've ever made to leave the place that we spent our life dreaming and building. But we left. We had to just walk away from our house.
Now that you have left the island, I understood from your husband that you went back to the mainland.
Yes.
Has your, if I may call it, complaints diminished or disappeared?
Oh, yes. Yes. It was amazing at first because the concept of having a night's sleep had become so foreign that to live on the mainland, and we live on a road that gets traffic, but it didn't make any difference. To wake up in the morning refreshed was amazing. And my vertigo certainly was gone. That didn't happen. But when I would go back for a visit and stay at the house for a couple of nights, it's like that. So it's you become very sensitized to sound. You become very picky about what you hear. My husband actually gives this example, if I may give it to you, is that if somebody walks up to you and they touch your hand like that, it's okay. If they do that for half an hour, it's annoying. If they do it for longer than that, you get a sore, and you just stop, and then you stop. But then 2 hours, even the next day, somebody comes back to the same spot and does that. You say, no. And that's what happens with the sound. You become very sensitized. So even on a day when maybe somebody else would say, well, I don't hear them, it doesn't bother me, every nerve in your body is going, I can't take it anymore. It's torture.